All right, everybody, welcome back to Milk and Honeys. I'm Kayla Becker.
And I'm Vanessa Curry. Today is a special one because our guest isn't just somebody we admire. He's also one of our good friends.
Yeah.
Our guest today is singer, songwriter, producer, vocal arranger, creative director, and filmmaker.
And he doesn't just make music, guys. He creates entire worlds around it. He writes, produces, performs his own records, directs, and produces music videos. Has built Trent Park Productions into a home for other artists and their stories. Trent Park, welcome to Milk and Honey.
Oh my God, what an intro!
Welcome.
Thank you guys.
First and foremost, I know I asked you to be on the show. You're like, I don't know, I'm really bad at interviews.
I am.
Are you nervous?
I'm not nervous. Yes, I'm nervous. I'm like nervous, excited, but thank you for creating this platform, just sending you guys flowers. Like you get to shine a light on such amazing people and give a voice to their stories. So thank you for allowing me to be a plus one for this.
We were literally watching your music videos before we came over.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
So.
I cry in a lot of them.
I mean,
it's
just the progression.
Yeah.
Is just so fun to watch.
It's been
really
fun.
good.
It's been fun.
Like I see knowledge behind your
Ooh.
eyes.
Oh, well,
I would
And
take that.
I still saw that back then, like even 2013, 2012. But
Yeah.
now it's like I see like
you're a
who
visionary.
you are, and it makes so much sense.
I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Since we actually know you, what is one thing you were hoping we would not bring up today?
Hoping we're not bring it up today.
Just get it out of the way now. As we asked you to bring it up.
I mean, I don't know. I'm pretty transparent. Like we're friends, obviously,
Yeah.
so I'm transparent with things.
Yeah.
I'm just like moving my life in a different way, my creative in a different way. And people in LA and like the business like are so like driven by like what you're doing and how you define yourself. So I'm always nervous about that.
Yeah.
But I'm letting it go for this and
Okay.
just so I'm like, whatever you want to ask me and
Well,
we'll edit it out.
There you go. Now,
Love
for someone
that.
meeting you for the first time, when you're not making music, directing a video, or working on somebody else's project, who would you say Trent Park is?
I get this a lot where they're like, I see your online persona, and then you as a person is different. Because I do a lot of like textured, darker, moodier stuff that I produce and create. But I've gotten into like, and like people meet me, they're like, I thought you were gonna be like, you know, just like
More
squinty and just,
edgy.
yeah. But I'm not that. So I think that's refreshing because I think, you know, having different colors to paint with in life is cool.
Love that.
Absolutely.
So like the darkness, I'm like, I think there's more color to it for me in a weird way. People think it's like all black, but I think it's all different shades of black and gray and whites. So I love painting with that color creatively and musically. There'll always be a tint of that in anything I do. Like I'm doing a show in a couple weeks, so you guys are gonna come too.
Yes.
And there's that like it's very open and like fun brand, but I need a text of you need that like darker element for the lights to feel lighter. So I always try to put it in there and put that in there.
I mean, you do so many things.
Yeah.
You're an artist, songwriter, producer, vocal arranger, creative director, and filmmaker. When someone asks you what do you do, what short answer do you give them?
So this is a great question because I always get nervous of what I want to say. And okay, so question from this last weekend that I got.
Okay.
I was talking because it aligns with what you said. I talked to someone, they're like, oh, what do you do? And I was like, oh, you know, I'm like currently right now I'm show directing for Amazon.
Okay.
Like I'm doing a show production, so I'm doing all the live stage programming for them. So I said that and I was so excited because I just got this job like 3-4 weeks ago.
Hell yeah.
And he's like, interesting. I thought you would do something with more like depth. I literally, I'm not even
I'm
listening.
sorry.
I did this.
Well, so did I. I just almost choked on my freaking drink.
Because it's such like I'm not what I produce. You know, I'm like a vessel of creativity, and you know, I hope to be like hope to inspire myself and others. But I'm like, what I put out, there's seasons of it. You know, like Beyonce in the beginning, it's a totally different genre now, and like I feel like it's hard for people to identify themselves and get like stuck on it. So that kind of made me think like, oh, how do I define myself? It's not like that title because he gagged me. So when going back to the question, I would say like, I don't know, like I love being creative director. Like I think everything is creative. I think people think creative is only like output visually or musically, but like what you guys do, like interviewing, it's an art of like, okay, I'm going to take this, what he said, and go into this. And, you know, so there's textures of art everywhere. So I think we're all like creative directors.
Absolutely, I
So
love that.
I'll stick with that, creative
Great
director.
director.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, it's very clear how talented you are, but we know there's a lot more. We can all kind of say this. There's a lot more behind the confidence that we kind of are front facing with. The
Yeah.
confidence people see. Were you always super confident in your abilities, or did you have to grow into that over time?
No, and I feel like when I was younger, I was super. So I'm like multiracial, so Black, Mexican, and then like so that's an identity shift of like who am I and like how do I define myself within like this body that I am. And I didn't come out. I'm gay, y'all. So
Yeah, and we're gonna get into that here in a minute too. So we're
but
gonna dive into
like
that.
figuring your identity out, it took a while for me, and I still
Yeah.
think I still get nervous currently because I think everything should make you a little nervous because it shows like you care.
Agree.
Of course.
And you're getting excited for it. When you don't get nervous or excited, it's kind of scarier for me. But I've never I feel like over the past 4 or 5 years, I've definitely been way less nervous because I'm more confident in the abilities that I have. But yeah, I think there's like a glimpse still of I'm
Yeah.
scared.
Of
Oh
course.
yeah. I mean, well, let's start with what you're creating now, okay? Because your latest release is Little Old Me,
Yep.
which feels confident, grateful, and a little threatening. What was happening in your life when you wrote it?
video.
Also,
Yeah.
Such a good
Yeah.
video. I think it's my favorite video.
fire.
Yeah, thank
But yeah, what was happening in your life when you wrote that?
I think it kind of ties back to the last question of people like kind of defining you, and they have to people have to know where to clock you, like who's your crew, what do you do, and then they have to put you in this little old me category. And so I kind of just put a spin off of it. I was like, oh, don't worry about little old me, but like this is what I'm going to be doing. So it's like not only that talking to myself about that, but to others too. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
don't worry about little old me. Like I'm going to keep building. So don't worry about it.
It's
you
like
know?
stuff in this that you probably dealt with in this industry that lit that fire because the song talks about gossip, people waiting for your downfall,
Yep.
plan to take the city bit by bit.
Yeah. It's been crazy. Like I'm blessed for the experiences, bad experiences, and all of it because they really like they demanded a response for me, and sometimes I wasn't always proud of that response.
Yeah.
But it did demand a response because it's a feeling right away, and that really I don't thank them for that, but I think I'm thankful that it was an experience for me because it gives me a different color, like kind of like the color
Yeah.
of painting. Like I have that experience, and now I can relate to other people with other people's struggle and all that stuff. So it just gives me a different
Yeah.
way to live and
Absolutely.
see things, I guess.
Wow.
Well, your experiences really do paint that picture, and your last few releases almost tell a story, right? God, I Can't Wait, Finding My Way, Alone, and then Little Old Me. Was that progression intentional, or did it kind of write its own story
Interesting.
in the process?
That's a good question. I feel like I feel like all of the songs kind of have the texture of like angst because I'm always wanting to be better. I always feel like there's an opposition against me, whether it's external or internal.
Yeah.
Which is awful, but whatever. So like all those songs are pretty consistent in their messaging. Because I think I'm always chasing something. I think creatives and like us
Yeah.
as
It's the
entrepreneurs,
adrenaline.
we're just like chasing
always
this
chasing,
dream,
yeah.
and like chasing the dream is like it's just never ending because you just
You're-
want to evolve
Yeah.
and stuff. So it's like, what are you actually chasing? So that's for that evolving. I feel like I have the same kind of pulse in all the records. I don't know if that makes sense.
Well, which of these songs do you
It
feel like
does.
feels like the most like the Trent sitting here today?
The Trent sitting here today, Lil Old Me.
Yeah.
And I have a new song coming out soon.
Okay, good,
I'm
yeah.
just finishing. I'm
That's
like
our
just.
next question.
Oh,
Yes.
okay,
No,
let's-
no, get
No,
into
I
it.
love
But
that.
let's
Please
go into
roll
it.
into it.
Happening here, debut exclusive. It's called Selfish,
Okay.
and I'm in that selfish era, and I'm redefining what selfish means to me. I've never been. I love people, and I love pouring into people, but I always had an animosity to other people without knowing it because I was like pulling outside of my own cup to help others, and then I would be mad at them. I was like, "Don't you see
What I'm
like
pouring into.
what I'm pouring into you?"
Why aren't you pouring it back?
But it happened to a guy I used to talk to. He's like, "Oh, I never asked for that."
Yeah.
And that made me mad, but also I was like, you
Yeah.
ate that because it's so easy to like do so much for people, invite people out, and they don't come to the events, or like there's all these ways I really go out for people. So I'm really redefining the word selfish for this next single,
that.
and I have a featured artist on it that I can't talk about
Oh,
yet,
okay.
but
Ooh,
I'm really proud of
t-shirt.
it. It's different. It's giving more like optimistic beat rather than dark.
Okay.
Maybe we'll see, because some people are like, this is still dark.
But
but I'm like,
But
it's
it's
still
like,
okay.
is
I'm
it
like,
like,
it's
would
more,
you say more? I mean, all your stuff is pretty dancey.
it's
but
dancey.
Trancy.
I think it's like dancey. I think it feels a little bit more pop. And there's like an end part where I feel like it could be a dance break, because I love a dance break. So
yes.
I've always,
Yeah.
Little Old Me was like the best dance break I feel like I've
It's so
done. I'm
good.
not a dancer. And
Well,
then
You never tell.
Yeah, I was
you
gonna say,
definitely
what
out.
he is
I
a
had a good
dancer,
choreographer
okay?
for this. His name's Mark, and he choreographed a couple of my videos, and he really worked with me. And like the dancers on this, like to match their, they dance for like, one of my dancers danced for like Bad Bunny and all these people. So I'm like, okay, they were so good at matching
Yeah.
me, so I didn't look crazy. So like all the dancers on there were amazing, and
Oh, I can't wait
yeah.
to
So
see.
this next one for sure,
I'm
dancing.
so excited.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to come back to everything that you're building now, but we do want to go all the way back, because your story obviously starts somewhere very different than West Hollywood.
Yes.
I'm born and raised in Syracuse, New
Yep.
York.
Yep.
My favorite barbecue place is there. I think it's
Dinosaur.
Dinosaur Barbecue.
Yeah.
What were you like as a kid?
What was I like as a kid? Like elementary school, I was pretty shy. I always loved music. I went I went to like a private school, and don't say it's like, oh, private school was not that. It was a Christian
Yeah.
like school
I went to
in
one of
that
those.
way.
Catholic Christian.
Because
same thing.
both your parents are ministers, right?
Yeah,
So
both my parents are
yes.
ministers, still at it in Syracuse at New Beginnings Christian Center. Go there if you're in Syracuse. But yeah, growing up was like, I was pretty shy. I always knew I loved music. I never was inspired by people when I was growing up.
Yeah.
If that's because it was never anyone that was matching who I wanted to be. Even though I didn't know who I wanted to be, I feel like I didn't know.
Yeah.
But
It wasn't
And-
aligning.
and,
it wasn't aligning.
yeah. What was
And your first real connection to music did come. You played piano for the church.
I played piano.
What did growing up in church teach you about music?
Okay, so it was a crazy, fun experience, because growing up in the private school, I learned classical music.
Okay.
So I had to read it, and it was very technical, and like everything was right, and positioning and all that kind of stuff. And then I got into playing piano for the church, which my parents made me. They bought me a piano under the vices of,
You
you're
have to
gonna
play
play
in church.
in
of
church.
course.
So, like I had Mrs. Greenwood was my piano teacher, teaching me classical, and then my dad was like, "Okay, you should go to like a gospel pianist."
Yeah.
So he throws me in a room with one of the best pianists in like upstate New York. His name's Alfred Cage, R.I.P. But he went in and he's like, "Okay, play for me," and he was doing work while I was playing, and he didn't talk to me for like 45 minutes. And he said, "Don't stop playing, keep playing."
Mm.
So like 45 minutes in, I was like, what is going on? And then like when that 45 minutes hit, he like turned his chair and he's like, "I felt nothing."
Jeez.
And I was like, he's like, "Your technicality means nothing if your heart isn't in it." Like people will be impressed by it, but like gospel is feeling.
Yeah.
It's like, what is your story? Because we all have similar stories, and like all movies are the same. It's about love, heartbreak, but it's like in that movie, it's specific. So he's like, this is specific to you. And like when you play a song, make it where everyone could relate to that song. And he's like, I need to feel it. So it's about feel.
Yeah, but like gospel isn't for everyone.
I know. And I was like, I'm only 10. He's like, you lost a toy. You're right about that.
What did music sound like in your house? Was it completely gospel, or like who were the first artists that you were introduced to?
So only Christian music.
Yeah.
But my dad still loves, to this day, he is like a jazz head, like all jazz. So I would go to sleep, and he's a drummer. So he was he was the main drummer. He was also the pastor, and he was on the drums while I was playing. But when I was growing up, like I would go to sleep, and I would have to go downstairs to tell my dad to turn down music because he would be blasting it. He had still has a stereo that's like the size of this room. He would have like he got one of those big bass subwoofers in the car. So people from far away thought he was like thugging and hip hopping, and he would get to the red light and it'd be like beady that was like a flute or something. And so I grew up a lot with like loud jazz music. My mom loved anything gospel, anything Christian, so it could be anyone. It could be her genre, like how we talk, like hip hop, R&B. There was only one genre, and it was Christian. So it's like as long as that was it. So I listened to a lot of that.
That's how mine was. Like it was like only Christian music allowed, but like I'd find like the Christian rappers and like, the Christian like I would make sure that I was like legit. Yeah, I was like So yeah, as long as it was like I think back then there was like someone called T-Bone.
T-Bone.
So then my dad would call me pork chop.
Yeah.
So,
I forgot about T-Bone. Yeah.
So like, that.
I listened to all of them. It's like Toby Mac,
Toby Mac.
Grits, Soldier Boy. Oh, not Soldier, but it was like
I was
Souljas.
like, wait,
Not
Soulja Boy.
I remember.
I was like,
It
wait
was
a
like
minute,
this
I don't know if he's
This group
Christian
named
music.
Soldiers or something.
I remember
It
that.
was so funny. I don't know.
Were your parents immediately supportive and they realized that this wasn't just a hobby for you, that you wanted to make a full career out of doing music?
I think they still question it.
Okay.
Because they still get they're kind of know what I do, but they kind of get confused because I do so much, which I'm like valid.
Yeah.
But in the beginning, like I said, there was no reference of someone making it in the music industry.
Yeah.
Everyone that was like music or entertainment, they were teaching it, or they were like doing like classical music, like professor or like literature or something like that. So I did go through school. I did my undergrad. I got a master's in writing.
Oh yeah.
So like I did all that, thinking that that was the way route I was gonna go. But like they're super supportive, still confused. But like growing up, they just didn't have the resources to give advice.
Right.
So yeah.
Right. No, you've spoken about attending a predominantly white private Christian school, like you just mentioned.
Yeah,
Faith
same.
Baptist Academy.
And being one
You
of
leave me hanging over here?
Oh, I thought you were catching the spirit, and I was like, Jesus,
Kayla,
hallelujah,
I
Jesus.
really thought you were catching the spirit too.
I thought we were gonna be like, dear Lord.
I thought you were
I was
my
like,
God.
I was like, let's lead.
I thought
worship.
we were bonding on that. Guess not.
Let's lead a prayer.
Oh my gosh.
yeah,
Okay, but yes, you were also navigating, like you said, being both Black and Mexican and feeling pressure to choose where you fit, right? What did that experience do for your sense of identity now?
I would say it made a superpower out of the situation now that I have 20/20 vision for it.
Yeah.
Because growing up, so I was in a Black neighborhood.
Okay.
I had, my Mexican side and my Black side, and then predominantly white people in the school, just for elementary. So it was a lot of like code switching, which is an art. And I think that allowed me to be a better artist because I could like to relate with someone is an art, right? Like people that have a different, socioeconomic status, identity, workflow, whatever it is, I could like relate. I could talk about like everything. So it allowed me to be a better artist. But yeah, it was tricky.
Because I think we're all three of us sitting here are biracial, so I think we all understand what that code switching is like, which I do think has probably helped us a lot in rooms. But do you still catch yourself changing parts of who you are to make other people comfortable?
I think the past year I'm definitely over it.
Yeah.
But I always want people to feel comfortable, and there's like certain things. I'm not responsible for your triggers.
Yeah.
However, I do want to understand your triggers and what that means. And there's different sensitivities for people that. So I always want people to feel calm and confident with me. And that's something I always try to work for. But also like my identity and who I am shouldn't offend you.
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
So yeah, I forgot what I was talking about.
No. You were talking about like your confidence and and being able to be in multiple different rooms and making people feel comfortable.
Yeah.
But you also started writing your own music and then won a talent show.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Which,
oh my God.
Which made you realize, there could actually be a career in this. Right. And do you remember
what did you perform?
what you performed and how you felt after that?
This is so I haven't talked about this forever. Okay, so talent show. I went to Lemoyne College. It was my first talent show, playing piano and doing my own music that I wrote, and I
Mm-hmm.
wrote a song called "By the Way," and it was
Yeah.
for my parents, and it was just like, "Hey, by the way, I appreciate you guys." So I
Aw.
sang it, and they were there, and some of my friends were there, and I was so nervous winning that talent show, but I won like $400 from it,
Oh, hell yeah.
which was a
Back
lot of
then,
That's
money.
yeah, that age.
amazing.
But it kind of triggered something in my head where I'm like, I created something, I got paid for it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
So that was
This is
like
a
that was like
job.
a light bulb moment of like, oh, there is not just like someone to applaud you, but there is financial
Yeah.
outcome if you like really stick to it. So that was
Absolutely.
like a huge inspo for it. Yeah, I haven't thought about
And
that for
imagine
a
like that's
while.
probably the first moment, probably the click, like, wait, I might actually be really good at this.
Yeah, like I didn't feel too gaslighted by like friends or family because it was like a big group of people on the panel of music and stuff. Not like they were huge people, but still, like it was a validation to me that like, oh, I'm not awful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can do this and make
Yeah.
money from it.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah.
probably, where you started to realize you could have your own first EP.
Yeah.
That was released, Big Ol' World.
Yeah.
It was an adult contemporary finalist in the 2012 UK
Oh
songwriting
my
contest.
God.
What did that
So funny.
recognition mean to you at that
So
moment?
funny. Okay, so I started that writing process. This is like a therapy session because I've
Yes.
not talked about this
I
stuff.
love it. It's like I don't want to be an actual therapist, but I love
But
doing
I'm
therapy.
I should lay down
You
here.
should.
You know what? I'm gonna pour myself another.
Get you a claw. Let me talk
Yeah.
about some childhood.
Yes,
We're
give it
gonna.
to us.
They don't sponsor us yet, but maybe they will one
We
day.
will get you
We're
a sponsor.
manifesting.
So yeah, writing that. Okay, high level thing. I was in college. I didn't know what I was going to be, so I was going to be a teacher, English teacher, because like I love words, I love poetry, but
I'm okay right now.
And then I realized like I basically was doing. This is a long story, but it's like interesting to me to talk about because I haven't talked about it. So I was studying for my undergrad, and before you teach, you have to student teach. So I was student teaching Tuesdays with Maury in front of a class.
Okay.
And then in front of that class, I realized there's such a big world out there, and this classroom feels so small to me. And I literally, in front of the class, in the middle, was like, this is not meant for me. And all
Wow.
the students looked at me, and the teacher looked at me, and I'm like, you deserve someone. If anyone's like
Wow.
pouring in your life, make sure they have intention and perspective of who they are.
Yeah.
And you don't deserve someone that's half and half.
Mm-hmm.
So I literally quit being a teacher, like going on the teacher route. And this was like senior year. And then I got a gig at a music studio. And I was just like PAing or whatever. And the guy, Todd Hoban, who owns the studio, he's like, in payment, you could use the studios whenever we're not free. So that's when that EP started.
Oh,
I started
okay.
writing there and learning music production and like, inviting friends and learning to do it. So that was kind of
Yep.
like the big old world vibe of like really getting like, okay, there's such a world out there that I have in my head. Like, let's figure this out.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And there's a 2013 where you released your debut EP, right? Don't Wake Me.
Don't Wake Me.
Who was Trent Park as an artist during that
Oh
first
my-
era?
Okay, so listening back, I don't know, like seeing yourself back then and like memorializing a moment with music is so funny. I was so like cosplay moody, I feel. Like I'm like, oh, if you only knew what was gonna happen later. Like your life felt so hard then. But not that it's hard now, but we all went through a lot.
Of
Yes.
course.
So yeah, that process was just so funny to make. I feel like that side of me was like more wordier in my
Okay.
music and my art. I felt like I had to give everyone like, this is the question and here's the solution.
You had to
Yeah.
get it all out.
Get it
Like,
all
get
out.
it all out.
And then I learned over the years of like writing and creating, it's like you're not there to make people like solve your art.
Yeah.
Just like if like go by one line, like the feeling is devastation, make the song devastating.
Mm-hmm.
If you want it to be hopeful, you can still have the devastation, but the hope is
Yeah.
your key.
Right.
So and with vision, like visuals and stuff like that, like really have a core center of it rather than trying to do all these things.
Yeah.
And then if everything will come back to your center.
No, for
Yep.
sure.
So now I'm like way less, I'm chatty on this, but on my music and stuff I do, I'm pretty particular.
Okay.
Is there a project
or a song on that project
or
specifically?
I'm sorry, a song on that project, Heaven, Bad Habit, Up and Away,
God.
Big Old World, or Love Me Again that you would want people to rediscover now?
Oh my God. What song? Up and Away was the first one I wrote on that EP. I would remix that song. That was a song about just like no one understands me. I'm gonna go to my own planet, kind of.
Mhm.
And I still write in that way. So maybe Up and Away.
Okay.
Yeah. And then maybe second would be Love Me Again, because I'm I'm like a hopeless romantic, but I kind of
Mhm.
choose to be
Okay.
at this point. And that's just about like, if I could do everything for you, would you love me again? In my little, yeah, you know.
Yeah. I love
Yes,
that.
absolutely.
So funny.
I do want to go back to your college days for a minute. You were also part of the student programming board,
I
right?
was, yep.
What was
LSPB.
that like your first experience learning how to like build and produce an event, even before you knew that would end up becoming a part of your career? Did you kind of fall in
Yeah.
love with it then?
Yeah, I thought it was so interesting because I think people that are in an events world take for granted the art and the ability to create an environment that's
Mhm.
like so like
Yeah.
right, the guest touch point. When you walk in, what am I seeing?
Right.
Who's talking to me? What are they giving me? What do I have to give them?
Mhm.
What do I see? Where do I want to take a photo? What's the lighting feel like?
Yep.
And I never really thought of it because you just walk in places
Mm-hmm.
and just like the intention of creating a mood and like having the sound design behind a certain thing and what are you smelling and like what's the drinks, like all these options feel so obvious to a lot of guests
Mm-hmm.
or whoever goes to whoever, but everything is intentional based off of like what they want to sell or how they want to make you feel. It's like kind of the art of manipulation, right?
Yeah.
So from that programming board, I really learned like the intricacies of like how are people finding out about this, like
Yep.
all those layers. And it was so fun and working with like artists. Like the first big artist we signed was like we had signed for an event was Jack's Mannequin. Do you remember Jack's Mannequin?
I feel like I recognize.
It's like I don't. They were like, I think it was like one guy with a band, but they were
Okay.
like so big in
Yeah.
my.
Okay.
They were like on the Laguna Beach soundtrack.
Okay.
Oh,
I love.
Well, we all know that. Okay. So yes, we did know
Yes,
that.
yes.
And also, Karen, you recently said like the lesson that you hold closest from college is that words carry immense power, which you know.
Mhm.
Every choice in the wording, structure, delivery, setting changes how something is understood. How does that English and philosophy background that you clearly had show up in the way that you are writing right now?
Great question. It shows up now where like delivery is so key.
Mm.
And like I had an amazing professor, Professor Gurley, and she really was so good about like the order of words and how
Mhm.
many like the longer the sentence is, like do you really need it that long? How
Right.
can we cut down words and be intentional with things? And then I also had a great philosophy teacher who was like, what's your intentions based off
Mhm.
of these words, and how can you make it more direct, or do you need it to be more, you know, fluffy for based off of audience you
Mhm.
give? So I think it just helped me so much of like um with my like art form, because saying less but making people feel a lot is a
Yeah.
superpower. And like everything is words. Like you can get into rooms just with the
Yeah.
power of like, oh hi, oh my god, your nails, or oh
Yeah.
my god, like we met before,
Mhm.
we were here and this is a person. So the power of those connectivity words and feeling is powerful. So I try to be, I'm trying to be better with my intentions of like speaking over myself, like when I
Sure.
have like good days or bad days, I'm like, you know,
And
impart
that's
goodness.
okay.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
allowed to have that,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But you being able to do that for yourself is something that a lot of people don't, right? A
Yeah.
lot of people hide from that, or they lash out, or
Right.
but if you're able to like talk to yourself about that, that's a really
Mhm.
It's an
really
exercise everyone has to do every day.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. It's a muscle,
Yeah.
right? But I mean, also another muscle is at some point you downloaded a software, locked yourself in your apartment, taught
Yeah.
yourself how to produce.
Yeah.
How rough were those few beats
First
that
few
you
beats of
made?
it, yeah.
Rough.
I think, do we have it? Can we like play
I
these
know.
back?
Can you
Maybe
like
you can
send
just
us
to
one,
me.
like your first
make,
one?
Tune in for the
we'll
next
be the
episode.
soundtrack of this episode.
I wonder if I have some I should look, but like it was so exciting for me actually, because when I came to LA, I obviously love music, knew how to write music, but but I was mainly a songwriter,
Yeah.
right? So I came and I tried to get in rooms as a songwriter. And then I really learned people love the music producer way more than
Okay.
the songwriter. Like the songwriter, everyone wanted the beat, like how many
Yeah.
beats you got. And it was so easy to have flexibility with producing music rather than writing for people. Because
Right.
like some people, I'm like, I can't relate to anything you've gone through. So like, how am I going to write about it?
Exactly.
And they're like, they want typically the artists write for themselves.
Right.
So
but they want you there for a buffer.
Yeah, so it was really hard, but there is a science and math to music production. There's frequencies, right? You have to have a low frequency. So what is that space going to fill? Is that going to be your bass, or is that going to be your kick drum, or is that going to be like a low string thing? And then your mid, save that for your kind of pretty main, like your guitar or your piano or your synths and your vocals. And then you want little orbital stuff like chimes or whatever. So like there's like a science to it, and there's also a math to it. Like, listen to like chart topping music. There's like a math, like, okay, intro 4 bars, 8. So learning the math of it all was easier for me, and then that kind of built the beat for me. And then you just have to have swag and like know what you want.
You've got plenty of that. Do you remember the first record you produced where you heard it back and you're like, damn, I think I know what I'm doing?
Probably like yesterday. No,
Oh,
no, I mean, I don't know. Like, I think it was more when I write for other people, because I become their therapist because they trauma dump on me, which I have to listen to. They're like, I want the beat to feel like this, and we're talking about this, and they pour all this emotions, and I have to take that and interpret what they mean into like a song that they might not think is for them, because a lot of artists come to me and they're like, I want a song like this, like a Tate McRae, whatever. And I'm like, what you like is not who you are.
Right.
So like, let me gather
Dive
what you
in.
actually like of Tate McRae. They're like, oh, I like the way she sings like this, or like this song. So when I listen to how I produce other people and I see how they respond, that's when I'm like, oh, I got it.
I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I mean, you've also lived in a bunch of different countries before.
I have, yeah.
Which places do you think changed you the most when it came to you personally or musically?
London.
Okay.
I would say I lived in London. Some people in LA know this, but my name is not actually
I was
Trent
going to ask
Park.
you, where you're Joshua Redden. Where did Trent Park come from?
London.
Oh, okay. So yeah, give us like how'd that happen?
Yeah, so there actually is a park called Trent Park in London.
Stop.
Yes. So
Oh
I'm
my
a park.
gosh.
I know.
That's-
So
I'm like, there it is.
plot twist. So I went there to study literature or whatever, which was really like artistic or whatever of me, but it was so needed. I'm so grateful that I did it. But I would run away to this park, and it was called Trent Park, and I always felt calm writing there. And that whole romantic journey of living in London and Europe was like, I'm like, I need to bottle this and put it. I'm gonna keep it.
Yeah.
So I was like, Trent Park. So I literally went back to
So
New York,
great.
and I was like, call me Trent.
Ah.
So like 98% of people in LA don't know
Didn't
my
know?
real name.
I didn't.
Yeah,
I did it before now.
I know a lot of.
Like,
I don't
really
tell
didn't.
people, and like sometimes I'll put my credit card down. They're like, I went on a date one time, and I put down my credit card,
So whose card
and then
did
he
you
looked
steal?
at it, and he's like, "You're catfishing me," and he got so upset
What?
because he thought he was like, guys do this all the time, yada yada. Anyway,
No.
yeah, Trent Park. That's where I was like
Do you
nearby.
feel like becoming Trent kind of gave you a permission to be a version of yourself that Joshua just wasn't meant to
Yes.
be?
Exactly why when people meet me, they're like, "You're not dark and
Yeah.
intimidating or whatever when I meet you, but your music is," and I'm like, "That's my Trent version."
Yeah, you're like, my real name is Joshua Redden. Like,
Yeah.
That is not.
my artist is Trent Park.
Trent, yeah.
Okay.
I know,
Yes.
and it was.
It's your
it-
Sasha Fierce.
Yeah, it was literally the Sasha Fierce, and I like related to that when she said that. I was like, "That's a brilliant way of doing it, because it is a protection system for you too." Because when people were like, "Oh, I hate Trent," I was like, "I hate him too."
Yeah.
Like he's external
Yeah.
for me. He's like he's not. He's a part of what I do, but I'm like he's not all of me.
Of course.
Yeah.
So
of
like when
course.
people say they don't like my art or they like whatever, I was like, cool.
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 I have no feelings
Yeah.
for
Cool,
that.
because that's
What
only
else?
a part of me. That's only a
Well,
version
that's a smart
of me.
way to kind of put the protector
Yeah,
up. you
and like
know?
what you heard is the old me already.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
like what I'm working on now is different. That's like it's like I took a selfie. Like that's an old
Yeah.
situation.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
Well, we're about halfway through this interview now,
Oh my
so we're gonna we have a lot more to get to, but we have covered a lot of ground. We're gonna take a quick break and play something, a little game. Okay, we're calling this game the Trent Park Starter Pack. We're going to give you a category.
And
You give us
that
the
is a tongue
one
twister.
essential answer. No speeches, no overthinking. This is going to
Okay.
be a quick fire, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Okay. One album every songwriter should study.
Oh Lord. What is the Jeff Buckley album? This is awful.
That's okay.
No, what's
Jeff
his-
Buckley.
Jeff Buckley.
All of Jeff Buckley.
All
Okay,
of
I'll
Jeff
Jeff
Buckley.
All right, one
Period.
vocalist who never misses. Olivia Dean.
Oh, I mean, Olivia Dean's amazing. I love Chris Stapleton.
Okay.
One song you had wish you had written.
Oh my God. So I played this game with myself the other day. Weird phrase to say. Oh, I can't talk. It has to be one word.
What word?
Happy birthday.
Oh, hey, listen.
Period.
Because
That's a
that,
great
that
answer.
knocks. And everyone knows that.
Yeah.
Royalties.
Everybody
Yeah.
knows happy motherfucking birthday, okay?
All right, one artist you would drop everything to work with.
Anyone that pays.
Ooh, period. One song guaranteed to get you onto the dance floor.
Quiet on the Creek, Saucy Santana, currently.
Okay.
Ooh.
All right, one song you play when you want to make your feelings dramatically worse.
Oh my God. Linger by the Cranberries.
Oh, wow, that's a good one.
I've cried outside of an Uber for that.
Perfect. Just listen to that song the other day.
Yeah.
One place in West Hollywood where there is a very good chance we will find you, which we always have.
Do I have to disclose it? Because they'll find me.
They'll find you.
I mean, Bayou typically.
yeah, that is where you divide bus.
Yeah.
I was there last night. One quality that instantly makes you want to work with an artist.
The one. Say that again.
One quality that instantly makes you want to work with an artist.
They have perspective.
Okay.
Love that. And one quality that makes you quietly decide this will be your final session together and I will never see you again.
Being rude
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
me or someone else.
Yep. So,
Yeah.
well, that was fun.
Oh my God.
Was that good?
That was exhausting.
Is that lighten up? Okay, so listen, you've obviously talked about this. You've gone from teaching yourself to producing your apartment, as we talked about, to becoming the person other artists are trusting with their music, their voices, their visuals.
Mhm.
But let's talk about what happens inside that process. I do want to ask, have you ever written a song for somebody else and immediately wanted it back?
Yes. I have, because I'm like, oh, I fall in love with some of the songs, not all the songs,
Mhm.
but there's some songs where I was like, oh, I want you to bleed more, like, like really, really do
Feel
it.
it more.
Yeah.
And yeah, but once they do it, and when I started really fully see them do it, I was like, oh, that is meant for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have had those feelings, but not as of lately.
Okay, that's
I
good.
love that. I mean, you've said that when you write for another artist, you become a chameleon and step into their perspective, like you just told us.
Right.
How do you make a song feel completely personal to them without like putting too much of yourself into it?
Yeah, that's been the biggest tricky thing to do. And I think a lot of it is a download of them first. Like I really try to ask as many questions
Get to know
about them, but not make it feel interviewee or
Right.
whatever. Like I'm just like, before I work with a lot of artists, I'm like, let's go for a coffee
Yeah.
and like not talk music. Let's just like figure out where we're at. And then
Yeah.
I kind of figure out their perspective and what they want to talk about, or what are they talking about, or how they're acting. And that could just inform me better. And then I kind of do a diagnostic to them of like, okay, what songs do you like? Why do you like them?
Mhm.
Like, what mood are you feeling for this next vision? Who do you think your audience is? Who is your audience actually?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I just do like a lot of download for them. And then once I get all that, I do add the Trent 10% of it
Yeah.
because I kind of take all that and like bake a cake with
Yeah.
it.
Absolutely.
Got a
So,
little-
because I also
Yep.
am like, I'm working for the song, not the artist. And a lot
Okay.
of people think I'm working for you. I'm like, I'm working with you, but our boss is the song. Because
I
the
like
song
that.
Right.
the song was going to tell you if it's good or bad,
Yeah.
regardless.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we have to really serve the song. Are you singing too high? Are you singing too low? Is it too wordy? Is it too busy? Is it too fast? Like the song's going to tell you. So
Yep.
that's our common kind of goal. Of
I love that.
Yeah.
Now, listen, you have credits and collaborations across so many genres, including artists like Trevor Hall, Madame Gandhi, Elijah Blake,
Mhm.
et cetera, et cetera. Is there one collaboration that kind of fundamentally raised your standards?
Ooh. I think visually, well, musically, there has been artists. I'm thinking who like raised my. I have worked with producers, like my one friend Colin. He's like based in Berlin,
Okay.
and he's very smart. He's always been smart since high school. I've always known him, and he's an amazing instrumentalist and producer. And he challenges me in ways of like thinking above like the actual of like what the song is, and that really does challenge me. So I think a lot the artists challenge me, but a lot of like instrumentalists challenge me and producers challenge me because we all are like trying to like we're not competing, but we're always trying to like what are you doing?
Yeah.
Um,
Well, it's a collaboration, right?
It's a
Always
collaboration.
supposed to be a collaboration,
Yeah.
not a competition in
Yeah.
that sense, in that creative space.
Right.
And on my own, your collaboration with Henry himself
Oh yeah.
was reportedly created for 2 major U.S. artists.
Yeah.
After waiting for it to move forward, you eventually just decided to release it yourselves.
Yeah.
What happened, and what did it teach you in about like waiting for somebody else's permission to release something like that?
Right. So I was in a camp of writers and producers, and this one song that I was specifically writing by myself actually in that camp was for Ellie Goulding. And then like I the original track that came out, we wanted, it was like Marshmello was gonna do it, like a Marshmello remix with whatever. So I did all that, and we like wrote it in like her perspective or how she would sing it. And then it was like the final 2 or 3 that were gonna be in there, and then it just fell through. Luckily, I owned everything, and then me and Henry, who's a Swedish-based music producer, we're like, this song is too fun. Let's just put it out. And I'm like, it's nothing like the texture of who I am.
Right.
Some of the words are, but they're kind of like pop words I would never say.
Right.
But I was like, let's put it out. It's like a bop. So yeah.
Now people assume. Sorry, I'm going through my cards. Like I wrote a 3-hour interview for you, so I'm like, let's see.
I already told her that earlier.
I'm like, let me see.
I need to keep these so I could read
I
them.
literally was like,
Like these are like
I was like, we are at
we have
42,
15 minutes left, so like, we might have to skip a lot of
like
this.
I told her, I was
Let's
like,
see.
you literally wrote, we are not getting through this.
The Addy hit, man. Okay, hold on, give me
I was
a
like,
second
we have
while
like
it-
10 more cards
I
left.
know.
I
we
need these
do.
for souvenirs.
Okay, let's go here. Your work has like obviously expanded far beyond the studio. You now write, produce, direct. We talked about this earlier. Style, oversee entire visual worlds through Trent Park Productions. Were you always this much of a control freak?
Yes.
Okay, very yes.
Yeah, I've always been greedy in the fact where like anytime I see something, even when I go to events, I was like, oh, the light's too bright, the sound's a little too loud, they would change this. This should be more open format rather than too many. Like I always have an opinion. Obviously, like maybe that opinion is wrong, but I still have one. I've always want to make things like better for everything, but yeah, I've always been pretty critical on art.
That's, I mean, probably why you're so successful.
Yeah.
You kind of have to be.
You have to be. Yeah.
You've worked as an entertainment company general manager before producing and directing more of your own videos.
Yep.
What did that chapter teach you about leading a creative team?
So yeah, leading a creative team is so interesting because creatives, imagination is not enough. I've learned, like you could have amazing imagination skills or dreams and visions, and could have great conversation ways of selling it, and those are both not undermining those, but without production, it's nothing, right?
Execution.
Yeah.
So for me, I learned like there's so many creative people on the team, but it's like I was the production and the logistics. So I was budget, I was timeline, I was like contracts, I was like insurances. So all that creative, when I was hearing it was pitched, I would be like, we can't do that. Like, how would you do that? And then the client gets frustrated, the director gets frustrated, like everyone gets frustrated because it's like you pitch something out of perspective of what we actually have.
Right.
So that experience really allowed me to be like, okay, having a vision, but also not putting a ceiling on it, but the ability to like scoop it up and like translate it into a timeline and a budget and all that stuff. Like I bounce between both of those minds.
Right.
I love having an expansive mind, but once I learn XYZ, then I kind of like tailor it in.
Yeah,
And I'm like, I'm not going to pitch something that we can't execute, or like, I'm not
Yeah.
going to give a render out that we can't do, or like pitch an artist that's not available. Like, there's all these things that creatives were doing so good, but like people would go on set and they'd be super frustrated because they're like,
yeah.
where's water? Like, they didn't think about these
Right.
basic human
Things.
elements. Like, you have to take care of the humans that are
Yeah.
on your set.
Exactly. And that
So-
is so important. And a lot of people do forget about that. I
They
mean, I've
do.
been
I
on
mean, I've been at plenty of sets.
Yeah,
where it's
plenty of
Thanks for the
sets.
sunships, bro. I'm here for 8
Exactly.
hours.
I know.
Like, do we have anything else? Or simple as if you're wearing an uncomfortable shoe, are there slippers on set? You know what it is?
Yeah.
It's like little things where
It's morale. You know,
you're
if I-
putting
you
the
know?
foundation into that batter and like mixing it up
Yes.
before it can be baked into something beautiful.
These
Totally.
metaphors are making me
And
hungry.
so,
I know.
We're gonna have to skip because we have 15 minutes. I really want to get to this last part.
Okay.
Sorry, we have to bring you on to continue. You have so many accolades. I can't even.
don't.
But obviously, we've been talking about finding your sound, building your very much impressive career. Honestly, you're one of the most impressive people that I've met since moving here. So proud of you. But let's go back. You know, another huge part of your story has been finding the freedom to fully, be yourself. Obviously, we talked about, you being raised in a religious home, eventually came into your identity as a proud gay man.
Yes.
When did you first begin to understand that part of yourself?
I never knew what gay was really when I was growing up, because like it was such a persecuted topic that it's like, oh, okay, I don't really need to explore it.
I mean, obviously being the son of two ministers, I'd imagine that would make things a little complicated.
Yeah, it makes things a little complicated because I feel, I was never, growing up, I was never like the gay kids in my high school. I didn't relate to them. Like, I didn't see myself in them. They were like more of like the emo punk or super choiry show tunes person. And I wasn't that person. So I was like, in my mind, I was like, oh, I visually don't see myself in that. So I'm not that.
Yeah.
So like the definition of gay and all that kind of stuff kind of took an evolution, like really understanding what that was.
For sure. I mean, you've said publicly that you reached a point where you felt like you needed to tell your parents before they found out in a different way.
Yeah.
What created that urgency for you, and how important was it to tell them
Right.
in your own words?
And what do you remember most about that actual moment that you
I
told
remember
them?
the actual moment. So it was the night before my 30th birthday.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And I was on a walk before dinner with some friends. And I was on a walk, and my whole mission for that next year, because I kind of create like a year theme. And my year theme for that year was like, don't fight the same battles. Either lose it, win it, or let go of it.
Yeah.
But like, stop bringing these same battles and complaining about the same thing. So that night, they called me to say happy birthday, and I was like, thanks. And they're like, what are you doing? Do you have this? Do you have this? And my mom said, do you have a date? And I was quiet, and I was like, I have to tell you guys something.
Oh.
And then I told them, and they were quiet, and then they're like, it's the typical, we still love you or whatever. But
was this over a phone call or
it was
like
over
FaceTime?
a phone call.
Okay.
Yeah. So I just kind of heard quiet.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, like my whole thing was like, I want to be myself. And like, if my parents pass or something, like, I need to have the courage to know if they don't want to hang out with me or be associated with me. Like, I need to give them the opportunity to do that. And they stepped up amazingly. And like, they were, they've been such a great part. But a lot of it's like the church around them.
I was gonna say, how did your relationship with your faith change after you came out? Like, did you have to kind of separate God from, the way religion kind of has been presented to you?
Church people, where's the camera? Church people
I'm a preacher's kid, so
are
I get
rough.
it. They are.
They're the most judgmental people,
They really
and they're very
are.
aesthetic based. And the big reason why I didn't come out earlier is the folks around my parents, because my dad has asthma.
Okay.
So there would be times in like church ministry, they would be ashamed of my dad, saying like, you wouldn't have asthma if you really had true faith. They would tell him that.
That's literally so
What?
accurate, though. It's insane.
Yeah. So it's like, if you have an ailment that you're consistently going over.
Are you insane?
insane.
Not you, but them.
It was insane. And that was like that kind of mindset. So for me, the church, the people that were going to their church, I've never told them this, so hopefully they don't watch it, but whatever.
Yeah.
But I was worried for them financially, because that's like their 'Is if I say
Wow.
I'm going to come out and they're like, you have an out son, how are you going to pray for us?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
And that's like,
Wow, that's
obviously we
heavy.
know the bigger version of what life is living in Los Angeles, but like
Yes.
we're in this bubble
Yes.
where there's like the majority of America is like this.
Yes.
Mhm.
So it's like coming out of that, like kind of going out of it, like that would be awful to
Mhm.
hear about that. So that was a huge thing of like, is this something that I should do
Right.
based off of like parents?
Yeah.
Because like
And that's tough that
it's
you're
not.
having to think of other people, not what you were
I know.
literally.
Exactly, because you're already going through something difficult too, of being
Yeah.
able to
Yeah, and then you have
be
to
open and vulnerable to share that about yourself, where it's like most of us don't have to do that.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't, not most, but a lot of people don't have to do that, right?
Right.
And being openly gay can create a
Obviously, yeah.
community,
Yeah.
obviously, but it doesn't erase racism with queer spaces or homophobia within communities of color,
Right.
obviously.
Mhm.
Have you ever, still felt pressure to choose which part of yourself is allowed in the room?
Sometimes when I'm in like super like straight
Mhm.
environments, I feel the need like
To switch.
to switch, not switch, but like
kind
yeah,
of hold back a little bit.
hold back a little bit, because like when I'm normal and I'm like not drink or anything, like I'm pretty, like people say, straight passing, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes guys will be intimidated that I'm around their girlfriends or
Mm.
whatever, and sometimes I have to like fem a little bit up. So I'm like, bro, you're good, like no intimidation, and like that's the worst thing to do, and I know that it's worse to
It's
do.
all like a teeter-totter.
But sometimes it's like, and who knows how people will respond to it, how I do that.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I fight battles. I know the battles that I need to fight, and what
Yeah.
sometimes I don't.
Yeah.
And there's some days when it's like I'm fighting a bigger thing so I can have a bigger win.
Yeah.
Yep.
And sometimes it's not always like, oh, so da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah,
Like I don't need
yeah.
to pop
Have a-
off. And like some arguments, like I'm like, okay, you win. Now
Yeah.
what?
Some arguments just don't matter.
They don't.
Yeah.
It's
So like the ignorance or whatever, I'm just like,
I know. It's like
Yeah.
exactly.
I just
there's no
can't.
reason.
You're not giving me more wrinkles. I'm already
No.
gonna get them
Yeah.
eventually.
Never.
I do love that.
Well, yeah,
that
never.
you've once referred yourself as the cocktail of minorities, which I kind
Yeah,
of love
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And you said that that unique perspective is what you do want to serve. And I'm sure that obviously you embracing that has made your work even better.
Uh-huh.
And also, we all live in West Hollywood. What
Mhm.
has West Hollywood given you that you didn't have like growing up? Like, was there a very specific kind of pressure that comes to living here?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, everyone's so pretty and they have something so cool to say, and they're always going somewhere cool, and they have these cool friends. And I love that because it does, we're in a perimeter where like your life could change so dramatically, and we're
Mhm.
blessed to be able to see people living at their highest potential, and they like have money for like all the cars and all that. So I find that very inspiring.
Mhm.
However,
Which I love, because most people don't find that inspiring. They
I find it
that
inspiring.
like, ugh.
Yeah.
You know?
And I
So I
get
really
there's
love
like
that you just
there's
said that.
stuff behind it, right? We're like, okay, they could be awful people, but like I still want the car.
Exactly.
Like I don't want, like, let's pare away all this
The
stuff.
financial freedom.
Yeah.
There's the
to do
financial
what I
freedom,
want.
and it's like, I want to be like a blessing to my friends. So if like they came to me like, I have this idea, and I'm like,
Yeah.
let me
Let's
fund it
do it.
or
Yeah.
whatever. So there's all these opportunities, and you never know where things, like all the jobs I get are typically never from I don't interview
Mhm.
for jobs.
Right.
Like they're
Yeah.
referrals or whatever like that. So
That's-
West Hollywood and LA in general is super inspiring about
Yeah,
that. Of
absolutely.
like, of just like you have this race and anxiety, and it's just how you kind of take it, because like
Mhm.
there's gonna be these shallow
Of course.
conversations, and sometimes I don't want to swim deep. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah,
talk
yeah.
shallow.
Well,
Like
yeah, that's
like don't persecute people. That's
That's
their
what they-
vibe.
yeah.
Like,
That's as deep as they can go.
For sure.
yeah,
Right?
let them stay in
And
the
I'm-
shallow end.
And I'm sure you found a plethora of people in West Hollywood when it comes to the dating,
Dating
in West
scene.
Hollywood.
Have
that
I?
has taught you, besides patience, what has dating in West Hollywood when it comes to that?
Dating
taught you?
in West Hollywood.
You said right
that-
into the camera.
Chapter
right
one.
there.
Chapter 1. How dare you?
How
Chapter
dare
2. No. 3. Okay. 4. All right. What has it taught me dating in West Hollywood? I mean, I date everywhere. I don't really date often. But what I do realize, and I love seeing how people go about dating, because I've been in the meet people live. Like the dating app's kind of tricky for me because
Yeah.
you could put out like a version of yourself and then I
Behind a
meet you and I
screen
was like,
is
oh
very
crap.
different. Like you just
Yep.
said, right? Like some people are
Yeah.
like, oh, they see me behind a screen, and then in person they're like, oh, you're a
Yeah.
little different.
And I'm so different. And like,
And that's
and then
okay.
sometimes I'm a different person. I'm like quiet and reflective. And then sometimes I'm just out there just popping.
Aren't we all?
Yep.
We've seen every version of each other.
And more to
okay?
come. And more to come.
Listen, like I said, we could go on and on. We do have to wrap this up pretty soon, but just to kind of, rehash, you've had some incredible public wins, Trent, a national Grammy songwriting competition, a Billboard premiere, Recording Academy feature, but you've continued to build independently and turn Trent Park Productions to a full creative business. Again, so impressive. So let's end by talking about what all of this means to you now. Do achievements like this actually change your confidence, or do you celebrate for 10 minutes and then you immediately have to move on to the next thing?
Yeah. Yeah. Like it's a nod. Like I really do value, when someone says you're doing good.
Yeah.
Like it is a nice affirmation and like we want it from different people and different organizations or whatever, and it does inspire me to do so. The biggest thing is like brands associated with you do help level you up. So like I
Yes.
know that it needs to happen. I always hope it happens, but it's not like why I'm doing anything I'm doing. Because I just want I want the ability to do what I'm doing now in like a bigger
Yep.
way
Platform.
and a bigger platform, and the ability to like really, I have so many people that inspire me, and I was like, oh, I can't wait for you to get the break. And I'm like, I want to be a part of it, even if it's
Yeah.
just like being a production assistant for free on your set
Yep.
Yep.
or whatever. Because I'm like, I think that's cool. So like,
Absolutely.
it is nice to get those nods and stuff. But a lot of times when my friends say, oh, I really like this song the best, like that's the cool
Yeah.
part, because
Yeah.
I value their opinions.
Of course,
Yeah.
your tribe, your circle,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's you've been an artist, the writing help, the writer helping somebody else find their own voice, the producer shaping the music, and the director bringing the entire vision to life, which we've seen, which is incredible. Which role makes you feel like the most powerful?
Which role makes me feel the most powerful? And what I'm doing now? I mean, being creative director
Yeah, that's what
is
I'm saying.
probably my biggest, because it's kind of like a culmination of everything I've done. And I kind of get to be the kind of like the conductor of different departments. Like, okay, lighting, this is what I see, and you go. And then like production design, this is what I see, and you go. So it's like really, since I've been on so many sets and worked both music wise, visual wise, event wise, I have a texture and a language of experience with them from like the ground up. I've done all the things. So I was like, I could communicate in their language where they're heard and they're people, but also they're a department.
Of course.
And then like operating on that. And I have really fun like when I lead a meeting, and I was like, and then they're empowered to be their best self. Because I feel like creatives, like you're not the solo dolo. Like you really are kind of a conductor
It takes
of
a team
of
and-
that.
But you're going to get to be the
Exactly.
orchestrator.
Even the
here.
like production assistants to like wardrobe assistants to like all these people, like we all are just like dancing. And like when it's an event or like a fashion show, like I did a Tiffany fashion show, and they're like, we all have to be on point. You've worked this hard, in these 8 minutes, we all have to be the best we've ever been in our entire lives together at the same 8 minutes. And I was like, because I like, you have no time. Like we
Yeah.
all have to call the show perfect and do this. So it's like seeing everyone on their best at the same time is just like,
Yeah,
Even
Chills.
if it's 8
amazing.
minutes.
Yeah,
right?
and like
and those 8 minutes, people don't realize it could take months for those 8 minutes to come together.
yep,
And
hundreds of
that's-
people.
And that's it. You get 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, guys, we got to go. We're going to wrap this up. I'm watching this call. He's got to get us out of here. He has another session. Okay, so before we go, Shregan, you are amazing. Vanessa's like, stop. Keep looking at her like, shut up.
need to keep going.
Last question. I think it's a good way to wrap this up. When you imagine yourself in the next 5 years, what does success look like if we remove streams, followers, awards, and money from the answer?
I just want like to be peaceful and like calm. I feel like that would be successful.
Calm nervous system.
Just like calm and vibey and like obviously all the cars and the money and like the influence is going to
we
be
want
there.
that.
Yeah, for
Thank
sure.
you. But I really just calm and confident. Like I do feel the muscle of I'm exercising being that calm, confident person. And like
Yeah.
success means to me, like I have a circle and we're all matching seasons finally. And it was like, there's sometimes always one person is this. And then like we're all on that rank and we're all level up and we're all kind of like,
Yes.
all right, okay, cool. Let's go to this thing. And like, it's just, we all clue people in and that circle. I think that's successful, but we're doing that already.
love that.
So
No, I love
we're
that.
successful.
We are.
Yeah.
Ugh,
I agree.
thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for
Trent
having me.
Park, everybody.
Yes.
Yeah,
Everybody.
tell everyone where they can like listen to you and follow
Yes.
Follow me at the Bayou in Hot. No, I'm at Trent Park on IG and all socials. So hit me up.
Period. And
Wow.
everyone go stream Lil Old Me and the
Yes.
rest of Trent Park's music and keep up with everything he's creating through Trent Park Productions.
Ayo.
And on that note, you know, you guys, we always are going to say this. Remember, the best tasting tea is the tea that has a little bit of honey and a little bit of milk in it.
Yeah, that part.
And
And a little bit of Trent Park.
And
Yes, a
little
little
bit of
cinnamon. A
sugar.
little cinnamon.
Just have Trent Park at the table.
There you go.
Because if he's at the table, you're going to be successful, okay?
There you go. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you next time.
See you next week.
Bye.